Good morning, Farah.
Good morning, Is. How are you?
I'm doing well. What about you, Shabil?
Good morning. Thank you for asking.
Alright. So, have you seen those young girls on TikTok, flexing their husband?
Oh yeah, is the recent issue going on right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's becoming a trend on TikTok with young girls, aged between 15 to 17. They are posting their marriage and their pregnancies on social media.
Are they young?
Yes, they are still in secondary school.
Oh,
You mean they're still teenagers?
Yes, they are still teenagers. They
but
are
half
under
married.
18. Yes, and some of them are pregnant. Like, in a surprising turnout of event, many girls commented on the video, expressing their congratulations, expressing their excitement about getting married as well. Like, how delusional that is. Like, they are still secondary school,
So
and
they're supporting this act.
yes, they are absolutely supporting when it's clearly child marriage. But then the big question is that why are these people celebrating all of this despite knowing that it is wrong? Like, right?
Yeah,
This is
Yeah.
child marriage.
Yeah.
exactly. Recently, I've also read an article written by UNICEF. It stated that child marriage actually started increasing during pandemic. You still remember during pandemic we did close down all our schools, isn't it?
Yeah.
So back then, being at home, the parents thought it would be a good idea to marry off their kids because the kids were becoming a burden to them. So they thought marrying off their children is the better way for their child and them to survive during pandemic. And ever since 2018, according to the statistic, it is stated that every year 1,500 children gets married, and usually it's 90% of it are women.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, the other 10% also comes from boys. And do you know Minister Rina Harun?
Yeah.
She was the former minister of rural areas. She stated that not this issue does not only happens at rural area, but it also happens at cities, and it does not in every type of religion, and also occurs in indigenous culture and also in modern society.
That is so.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so weird, and it is also very concerning because where are their parents?
Let them to marriage at a very young age.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are supposed to go to school. They are
Exactly.
supposed to
And
go
accordingly,
study.
legally in Malaysia, we're supposed to get married once we reach 18, but still people are getting married before 18, which is becoming a very concerning issue.
Yeah.
Although it is legal in Islam to marry, but they supposed to mentally and physically ready to
Yeah,
expose to the
right.
sex acts when they are getting married, especially when commonly they are getting married to old men or old women, so they are maybe not okay with that, and
Yeah, it looks
many
like
of
they're getting
yes,
forced, isn't it?
yes, they are
Yeah.
getting forced basically.
So, why do you think this thing happened? Why do you guys think that child marriage happened?
One of the main factors must be the financial state of the family. So the financial state, obviously, when someone comes from a poor family or they're suffering from poverty, the parents, they think of their child as a burden. So it's an economic burden to them. So when it's an economic burden, it drives the parents to marry off their kids, marry off their children as fast as possible,
How can
because
they do that?
yeah, because from their point of view, they think in order for them to survive, they need to marry off their children because they can't manage their financial well if the children is still at the house.
It's basically taking advantage from the children.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
It's for your own good. I mean, they are good. Their parents is good.
yeah, and also marrying off their children, they think once, for an example, if they were to have a daughter and upon marrying her off, they think they finally have one less mouth to feed. And also, when marrying off, they receive a dowry. and they uses that to pay off their debts and to be more better financially.
I see. What do you guys? What do you think, Shabi? Why this happened?
I think this cause because of cultural practice in rural area. Okay, logically, I do experience one of my
Right, your
one
friend.
of my friends in my hometown being married to an old man at a very young age. I remember it was uh, when we in secondary school in 15 years old. She's getting married to an old man. It's not that old, but still have a very long range.
Age gap.
Yes,
Oh.
long gap. Um, Basically, this practice more crucial forces to the young generation to expose to the sexual acts. So they 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 may have better financial, but we don't know in depth of their heart what they feel, what they are going to think, what they are going to face after the marriage. We don't know inside of the house.
But Shabil, why do you think they usually marry off their children to someone older than them?
I think to uh, their parents is, like you said, is financially problem, so they put their responsibilities to other men who can
Yeah.
actually take care of their children.
So they're
I
like
think it's-
passing down their kids.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's because of the cultural practice also. Because it is used to.
Yes.
Right.
Is because the girl can't say no. They
Yeah.
can say no because it will affect their community.
Okay, like as for me, based on your guys' explanation, I think child marriage is deeply rooted because of gender inequality. Like as we all know, like biologically, men are physically stronger than women, right? So basically, they use this biological reason to say that and put in someone's mind that men are superior in everything. But it is important for us to clarify that physical strength is just one of humans' capability. Actually, we have more, not in only physical strength.
Yeah, just
So-
because men are
Yeah,
stronger
just because
physically,
you're
that doesn't mean
stronger-
you have to rely on them
Yeah.
and marry off your children at very young age.
So basically, girls and women are treated as second class, how do you say, second class gender, and people have
Less
been-
dominant than
yeah, less dominant gender, inferior, and people are denying their human right. And for me, gender inequality that cause child marriage actually starts from household dynamics where mothers would assign their daughters with a bunch of household chores, and I think it's very unfair because like until today men would have to do the labor work and women have to do the house chores. So basically this early practice laid the foundation of the gender inequality. So this stereotype saying that women's primary role is at home, so they have to be wife and mothers, and their self-worth is valuable only then they are at home, rather than being an individual with aspiration, right?
Yes, that's the cost of
Yeah.
child marriage.
So basically, until today, like the stereotype and norms that were put to women is that woman is the one that must stay at home.
Always below the
Yeah,
man.
always below the man, the inferior,
Hierarchy.
yeah, the inferior hierarchy, and this has been endured through history, and it is very concerning because the effect has a prolonged effect affects everything, every aspect in our life already.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
So,
But
what do you think about the impact of
You
the teenagers who got
how it impacts them?
yes, how impact them who got the early marriage? What do
I
you
think um, I think it affects their education basically. So so girls that have limited education opportunity, right? The education is not prioritized, so they may be seen as having fewer options for their future. Like as someone like they get married at young age, they can't pursue their study, right?
Yes.
So
It limits their
yeah, it
freedom.
limits their freedom. It limits the education that they will get. So married girls they face many practical barriers to education, including household responsibility. Like they have children, they have husband that might act like a baby and do nothing at home, except you know,
Whine and complain all the time.
yeah, men like to complain. You don't be like that. And all the stigma, all the forced exclusion from school and gender norms that keep them at home. Like I said just now, it's because of gender inequality. So I think because of the lack of education, they have less awareness about their rights, their about the negative consequences of child marriage. You get it right? Because there is no education, they won't get the awareness. They won't know about
Their brain won't be fully developed with
yeah,
knowledge.
they don't have they're not mentally mature to know their rights. So by that it makes them more vulnerable to early marriages. Other than that, when there is no education, they tend to be they tend to be more dependent on their husband. So the impact on education is that without education, they can be provided with opportunities for employment and economic dependence. As we can see, the ones that didn't get married at a young age, they will probably pursue their study and they will get more job opportunities and it will actually have a brighter future for them.
And it will allow them to achieve all their life
Yes, that's right. Other than that, I think education, right, it contribute to this empowerment of girls. It limits their ability to make them their choice about their life, about their body. They don't know everything about basically about sex education or anything. So they
Their
have
knowledge is
yeah,
very limited.
yeah. So they have little say in decision about their marriage because they are not educated. They are not exposed into education that that
A person should have.
yes, a person should have. That's why child marriage happen because there are a lot of education and it gives a lot of consequences. And then I think that child marriage make them have those girls have limited aspiration because if they are not educated, they are not exposed to variety of life options. So they develop limited aspiration. They don't know what should they work on their life because they will be so busy like preparing food, doing all the house chores, taking care of the family, like
Their world only revolves
Yeah.
around their house.
yeah, basically around their husband, around their children, playing around the house, and basically, when all of this happen, eventually it will affect their mental health. When they are stressful with household chores, when they are stressful with all the burdens they face daily, men might say that being a housewife is easy, but then those who have handled house daily knows how hard it is to control your children, to cook for your husband every day, how tiring it is. They are like you're working 24 hours. Alright, right?
Yes. Okay, that's in terms of education.
Yes, and also mental health. I have more points actually. Because of stressful, they can develop anxiety, they can develop depression. Like there's a lot of mothers like actually they are mentally are not stable because they are forced. I mean, it's not forced. Some of them do it willingly, but of course they don't really spend time on themselves, so it will be so stressful.
So it will
Yeah, it will make them stressed because
yes.
some husband they can't even help because of the gender norms,
It will
the
also cause
gender roles.
it's also because the mom is always stuck at the house, so she tends to overthink the issues.
Yes.
It can lead them to divorce.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because some men they have this mindset that makes all women like burden. It's like a marriage supposed to be both side
Men
doing.
and women
Yes.
They
doing
both
together.
Even worse, this is child marriage. Even worse, this is child marriage. Can you imagine a child handling another child, handling a husband that act like a child?
There are
Right,
three
so
child.
then-
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, next, Farah, what do you think about the impact of the teenagers?
By getting married in a very young age, obviously you're going to be impacted with many type of child health issues. First of all, once you get married, obviously the chances of the woman's getting pregnant is very high. So childbirth and pregnancy at a very young age, this contributes to many health effect on the mother.
Yeah, true. Even when they grow older also will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it forces them to get matured very quickly. Like you said just now, they themselves are still children.
Yeah.
When they are still a child and then they get pregnant and then now they have to take care of another child that is way younger than them, this requires them to use a lot of energy.
Yes.
And usually during childbirth, because the mother of the baby is actually really young, it has a very huge maternal mortality. So the
Yeah.
percentage of people that go through childbirth, the mother tends to sometimes they tends to die while giving birth to the
Yeah.
baby.
Also after the childbirth, actually, there's like postpartum times, right?
Postpartum depression, that's
Yeah.
affect the mental health issue that
Because
you
they
Yeah,
are
that's
not
right.
physically ready.
Yeah, because they're not fully developed as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Other than that, by getting married at a very young age, you also tends to develop yourself more to STIs or sexually transmitted infections.
Uh-huh.
And
I've heard of that.
yeah,
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
following your point just now, people that get married young, they tend to have low education, and that means they're not aware of the fact that STI can actually cause a lot of dangerous health issues to them.
Yeah.
And when you have STIs, or before you have, in order to prevent STIs, you have to go through continuous checking with your doctor to make sure you are prevented and you're fully healthy. But these people, they are unaware of this fact and they tend to be like, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me. And
Yeah.
to the point, the infection, it spreads way too much to the point it's uncurable anymore. So it could be very life-threatening to the couple.
Well, basically, that just add up to my point. It's about education. They
Yeah.
don't have enough education or sex education, so they don't have this knowledge about their body, about all the consequences, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree with you guys.
Just like Shabi stated just now, women that give birth at a very young age, they are not fully developed. This
Yeah.
causes them to give birth to babies that are very underweight or malnourished. That will cause the baby to be very weak and fragile, and also in the future, once the child started growing up, it affects the health of the child. They tend to be affected with many types of health issues as well. And also, women that give birth at a young age, they go through early menopause. Do you know
Really?
do you know the normal age for menopause? Are you
No.
aware of that
I
fact?
think 50 something.
Can you
Yeah.
tell us?
Of course. Usually, women go through menopause from the age 45 to 50, 45 and above usually. But people that get people that go through childbirth, they tends to go undergo menopause at the age of 35 and above. This causes them an health issue. Have you ever heard of osteoporosis?
Oh yeah, the backbone.
Yeah, osteoporosis is a health issue where your bone, the mass of the bone decreases a lot. This causes your bone to be very fragile, and it causes a lot of fractures, and it's very very bad for the mother because she's still young and she have a kid, her family, and now she has so many health issues because of everything is because of child marriage. What do you think about it, Shabir?
Oh, my turn. Okay, so
Your turn.
I think the impact to the teenagers is the responsibilities. The if you you just said just now that teenagers who got married at early age is going to going up from education and school.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the girls who actually married and go to school? They have lots of responsibilities. Responsibilities
That's true
in
as well.
school,
Yeah, true.
responsibilities in house.
Yeah, like I say, even though you are married, you go to school, it's still limit tau.
It's
You
like
still limit your
putting
potential.
way too much on your plate because you
Yeah.
have to manage your school life and also your family life.
Yes.
Yes,
So
good point,
they
Shabir.
have lots of responsibility, such as they are doing their homework. They are doing homework while taking care of children. That's
True.
not. That's not sweet for them.
Yeah, like imagine you're writing your homework, suddenly your child screaming and
Crying.
yeah, crying and
Same
having
goes to
young,
when you're studying for an important exam and then suddenly
Yeah.
your kids like running around.
yeah, or having all the tantrums.
They have
It's so annoying.
lots of responsibilities. They
Yeah.
have responsibilities to their husband also, and they tend to their daily life is bordered by the responsibilities that the kids should have fun with their friends. They should relax. Yeah, we know that.
hang out.
Which at the
Yeah.
age of that they should be like exploring the teenage life, right?
But they don't.
Yeah, they are limited only.
They don't. They don't. They must. They have responsibilities to
The
their.
schedule is too full to enjoy.
Yes, yes. To their husband, they must cook for them.
Yes, especially for those husbands that don't know how to help.
Yes.
They are aware, but they don't because they're just another baby.
So there's lots of
Burden.
burden at their back. Okay. So next, I think the impact is social isolation. You know what social isolation?
Oh yeah,
When-
isolate themselves.
Can you clarify more?
Yes, in pandemic we isolate ourselves in our house. We cannot go out. Same goes to the kids. We have social isolation. They can't socialize with others. If the girls are not studying, they stop their study. So they have to stay at the home.
So they're trapped at home.
Yeah, they are trapped. They are physically trapped at home and mentally trapped. They are not exposed to the environment. Kids, they have to go out to explore the teenage life. But when they when they perform early marriage, they can't do that because they have responsibilities.
Yeah, like
Right?
they're tied to their
Yes.
marriage.
When they want to go out to play with their friends, so when they want to get up, the husband will say no, you must do this, you must do that. So they are social isolation at their home. They can't go anywhere. They have to stay and do the job. If they had done their job, if they done the house chores, they still cannot go out. Maybe they can go out to buy groceries or something, but
Yeah.
when doing something with their friends, they can't. They must do it husband because
true. When you get married, it's all about the husband,
Yeah.
all about child. It's not about you anymore.
And they have to give up on their social life.
yes, so that's why I said the social isolation is about it will impact the teenagers.
Wait, I've said just now about financial state of the
Yeah.
family to marry off their children, isn't it?
Yeah.
But have you thought about once they get married, they still suffer with financial issues such as
Yes.
poverties?
Yes.
That is because usually I'm talking about when children, like someone under the age of 18, gets married to another person that is also under the age of 18 with low education. Obviously, it's going to be extremely hard for them to find job. And even if they were to find jobs,
True, because they don't have SPM certificate or anything,
Yeah.
right?
They don't have the
Valid approval.
valid approval to pursue their dreams.
yeah, and even if they were to get a job, the pay of the job is very low. And obviously, if you are married, you're just like you stated, the responsibility is very high. With their marital responsibility and such low income, they will be burdened with lots of debt. This causes them to be like taking out loans, borrowing money from others. So they'll be more every day they get more burdened by the debt. And also, when you get married, the amount that you have to spend is extremely a lot. You need to spend for groceries, house mortgage, clothes, utilities, and also if you were to have a child, then you have to pay for childcare expenses.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes this type of young couples, they tends to rely on their parents. Like even after getting married, they'll still like call their mom and they'll be like, "Can I have some money? I'm suffering with
Yes,
debts."
I agree with you.
Yeah. And also without a proper income and too much outcome of the money, they it's also because of bad financial planning without proper way, like they don't finish up school, so they don't really know how to spend their money efficiently. So this leads them to have a very bad planning when it comes to financial management. And also because their outflow of money is way too high, they don't really have any much saving. By that I mean, so let's just say you were supposed to have an emergency. Your wife suddenly
Got sick.
got sick, or she was involved in an accident or something, and without savings, you can't pay off for her healthcare,
Yes.
and that leads to many kind of problem as well.
Then let them to borrow from the loan or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will
Can bring-
even burden them.
Very
Yeah.
dangerous to
Yes.
them.
But sometimes they do because they have no choice. They have to,
Yeah.
but they don't know how to pay back to
Yeah.
the.
Because they are in a desperate
Yes.
situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving next to the perspective of others, what do you think the perspective of others when you get married at the early young age? What do you think?
I think right when you are all these children, when they are married, like they have their perspective on their friend, and their friend also have perspective on them. I think girls that involved in child marriage tend to be more insecure because their friends that pursue their education actually are more successful than them. They can actually work on what they want. They can actually work on their dreams, right?
Pursue
Like we all do.
dreams.
They have a carefree lifestyle.
Yes, they
Their-
are
the
working on
journey
their
of
future.
Their life is being arranged.
Yeah, in a good way. Instead of being at home and caring about their husband, their children, right?
Yes.
So I think it's because they don't have me time because they're insecure and they feel like maybe some sort of jealousy because their friends that actually not involved with marriage have me time. They can actually take time to make themselves pretty. They can go out anywhere they want. They can actually travel with their friends. They can go out anytime they want, basically. Because
Their time is fully occupied.
yes, fully occupied. They're not occupied by children. Like their life is not evolved around children yet. And then I think there will be those they will be more insecure because their friends has actually a better life. Why? Because they have actually a better mental state of health. Right, because those with I mean everyone has their own stress, but then those with actually stress with education is actually better than
Stress
worrying
with
about
family.
family is better than worrying about all this financial stuff because with nowadays economics I think everyone is struggling.
And
So,
especially in this age, we should be worrying about education, not worrying
yeah,
about
not
our
worrying
families.
about where like marriage and stuff. It's just not our time yet. So I think other than that is because they will be insecure because they have to work hard every day while others are studying, working on their future. So when others tend to be more successful, they will be more insecure because they can't achieve that.
Yeah, and it also causes them to have jealousy towards others.
Yes, they have low self-esteem, and other than that, they are not. They are seen as not independent because basically they depend on their husband, on financial, mentally. While other girls that pursue study actually, I mean they do depend on someone also, but it's not as bad as
It's not
depending
as
on
much.
husband.
Mhm.
Right,
Okay.
because it might be risky. We don't know who is the husband. We don't know how is the husband is like.
Yeah.
We don't know him like personally. So forced marriage, child marriage is like very very dangerous. It builds up a lot of perspective from others that may lead to a lot of negative things.
We need to prevent this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Farah, what do you think?
From my point of view, when someone was to get married in a very young age, the society looks down on them, and usually these young couples that get married, they receive backlash from the society and are often perceived as a bad example for other youngsters. And also, some people they think getting married at that age is very foolish of them because obviously, like everyone has stated, at that age it's not. We shouldn't even be thinking about marriage. Our focus should be on our life goals, what we want to achieve for the next 10 years, on that sort of stuff. But then these people getting married, and so they face stigma from the society because whatever they're doing is against the law and regulation of our country.
Yeah.
Other than that, just like you stated just now, child brides and grooms, they are more socially isolated compared to their peers, like, and their friends. Comparing with them, their lives are way more conquered with other things that
Yeah, they are
a
more
child should.
committed to
Yeah,
their husband, committed to their children instead of themselves.
their
Yeah.
commitment is way too high because of the marital responsibility, and that leads them to be very stressed because there's way too much responsibility and burden on their shoulders when if they weren't to get married at that age, they could be a lot more free.
Yeah, they have like more free time, just like I mentioned just now, right?
Yeah. And what do you think about this, Shabin?
Personally, I think when you got early marriage, it will affect the perspective of your family and relatives. Especially your relatives will say everything about your spouse and everything. So your family will think that you think when family your father had a planning to go for vacation, but you can't go and you can't sorry you can't go and follow them to the vacation because of you have responsibilities to the husband, and your husband don't allow you to go with your family.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Yes.
Because you have a different family now.
Yeah, because women and men are very different. Because like I think lots of marriage are instituted not only child marriage but most of marriage the ones that who the most burden of household chores, everything about home is basically the woman. That's why women tends to be more
Belittle.
no.
What?
They can do multiple things at once because they are
They're good at
used to-
multitasking.
Yeah, more good at multitasking, right? That's the right
Okay,
word.
let me continue.
Alright.
Okay, in terms of relatives, so especially when Raya, Aidilfitri Eid,
Celebration of
celebration education. Eid, it will your relatives, all of your relatives will come to your hometown and you come with your husband. So what do you think they will think? They will think
They will definitely gossip about
yeah,
you.
they will
Yeah.
talk about you, will talk bad about you.
You will be the top of the town on
Yes,
that day.
you will be the topic, the hot
True.
topic.
This is the one that
Actually
a
happen.
child.
Yeah.
They will say that you are very, very a
Very
relative
young.
person
Yeah,
that want
not-
to get
not
married
suitable.
early. Right.
They are not suitable to perform marriage,
Yeah.
and especially the older one will talk bad about you.
Yeah, all those makcik-makcik.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll be thinking that, oh my god, she can't wait to get married, is it?
Yes.
And this will affect your parents too.
Yeah.
The reputation.
Yes, they will say, what kind of parents are letting their child to perform early marriage, to get marriage and not continue their study.
Eventually, it will affect their mental health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely for a long time. And they will have a bad relationship with their relative as they grow older.
And
Because they can remember all of these things.
Yeah, they will feel ashamed to
Yeah.
come back again to the hometown because of the words that they face along the way.
And okay, so about the issue that we discussed, what do you guys think are the ways to prevent child marriage in our country?
What do you think?
What do you think, Shabil?
Oh, okay. I think it must start from parents at very young age. Maybe like 5 or 6 years old. I think it can. Parents can expose them to be more aware about sex education. So the parents can
Educate on the
and
importance.
importance of taking care of their sexualities and have very to no I mean to their children have a big perspective, have a big vision of education, not being married. So because nowadays children tend to find girlfriend or boyfriend at
In a very young
school.
age.
Yes, just like you, and so they will think they will get married, but that just a cinta monyet at school.
That's
So
a Malay term.
yes,
You want cinta monyet?
no, they will think that he is my true love, he is my husband, future husband, but that
That's all
just
the imagination.
yeah, imagination.
Yeah.
They feel that he is the right man, right place, right time, but they don't think the education and so on. They're just delusional about the getting married because their knowledge were not far as we can think. So parents can expose them to sex education and maybe ask them to focus on their study to pursue their dreams.
Wait, so actually, as a society, we can also help to prevent child marriage by organizing campaigns. These campaigns, they can promote the negative effects and how getting married in a young age affects a person. So by being more aware of this, because all of this, like the main problem is because the society is unaware of how someone is affected when they get married in a very young age. So by organizing campaigns and also programs empowering girls, and this type of program that empower girls will help them to be more confident and independent. It teaches them to be more self-reliant, yeah, compared to be relying on others. And other than that, do you know the NGOs, non-governmental organization,
Yeah,
or
I
the
know.
local communities? They can also involve themselves in this issue to prevent it in their community by boycotting child marriage.
So what do you think ways to prevent?
I think the main one is education basically, because with education these girls can have the awareness and knowledge, because at school they can actually learn about the rights, their options for their futures, so they are aware of the consequences, what will happen if they get married. They can know what will happen to their body, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, with education, they can delay marriage age, because these girls are engaged in education just like us. We are engaged in education. We don't really think about getting married,
Yeah.
and so completing education becomes a priority instead of getting married,
Yeah.
right? Other than that, I think education gives the empowerment for these women, because at school we learn to get we can learn new skills, we can have confidence by like socializing, we can get the confidence, and we learn how to be independent, just like we are here. We are independent, we're doing everything alone here, right? Instead of those who gets married early, they depend on their husband, so that's why they tend to be like more depending on their husband. Other than that, by education, they can actually have more career opportunity, because they have all the certificates, SPM, all this degree, diploma and stuff. Because other than that, as we can see nowadays, educated girls are becoming role models on social media and
It's motivating others to follow
Yeah,
them.
they are motivating. Their stories contribute to changing social norms. Actually, right?
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of influencers I've seen on TikTok, on Instagram. They're using the platform very well. They're actually sharing their experience, and it's actually giving other girls inspiration
They're
as well.
conveying the correct message to the
Yeah.
society.
Share awareness about this.
Yeah.
Yes, right, Shabil.
Yes.
By education, we can also have those legal awareness, because we have laws. They will learn about laws, just like you mentioned just now, about their rights, so that they can speak out whenever like their parents is forcing them or something. And I think they can learn about the legal age requirement to get married,
Yeah.
so that the parents can't force. When a girl know what she wants, she will work on it, not getting married. Other than that, I think education on health, because I think have you heard of um, SRH?
What's that?
That is sexual and reproductive health education. It involves family planning. It involves learning about our body, because so that these girls can make decision about their body, can have boundaries between all the men, like understanding puberty, because they're still young. They don't even know what's going on with their body yet, and they can address gender stereotypes and promote gender equality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I haven't finished yet. I think other than that, I think one of the ways to prevent is changing the norm. Basically, everything starts with gender inequality. So to turn the gender inequality, we must change the norm. Basically, by promote gender equality, like challenge the traditional role itself by starting educating your son to do all the house chores as well, instead of only assigning all the house chores to your daughters. Basically, secondly, I think is to raise awareness between community discussions. When you have community in your place of living, like probably you're living in an apartment or in a village. Yeah, in a village, as example, I mean the head of the village can actually do awareness, like no child marriage is allowed here. Like,
Yeah, they can protect.
yeah, they can
against
protect.
child
They can
marriage.
protect
You
these
can
girls.
prevent the child marriage.
Yeah.
Right, and I think with challenging the norm by collaborating with local and international organizations. I think you just said just now. What is
Yeah.
the organization?
Non-governmental organisation.
Yeah,
There are many.
Another one.
UNICEF.
UNICEF. Yeah, UNICEF. I think UNICEF is like a very big organization. It's an international um, organization that I think really
Can
fight for
spread
the
the
child.
awareness.
Yeah, worldwide.
Okay,
Wait, also regarding that, the most important thing in order to strengthen this, to prevent this issue, is the law and regulation. In our country, by now, according to the law, the legal age is 18. But if you look back a few years ago in Selangor, the legal age for marriage, it used to be 16. But thanks to all this awareness that we have talked about, thanks to all this education, the fact that now they are more educated on this matter, the Selangor state has finally decided to extend the age to 18 years old as well.
That's good. That's
And
very
also,
good.
have you heard about in 2018, Tun Dr. Mahathir has actually voiced out to raise the legal age requirement nationwide. But a lot of the states, they protested against it because they wanted to keep their tradition of getting married in a really young
that's why I
age.
said that's the gender norm.
It's a
Yeah.
cultural practice actually.
Yeah.
Yes, but now there's a new rule that in 5 years, it was implanted in 2020, and they believe in 5 years we can have a lot of change in this matter, and hopefully we will be able to prevent child marriage. So to end our conversation here, what do you guys think about this issue? What do you think,
Okay,
Javid?
I hope we can only through concerted global efforts, we hope to bring an end to child marriage and secure a world where every child can has the chance to realize their full potential and live a life free from shackles of this harmful tradition, so that they will know their ability to push way more better than other women and get higher education in terms of study. So they will be happy and have more money, and they can choose who.
They want to marry.
Yes. Can choose
Yeah,
who they
that's
want to
right.
marry.
I think child marriage is crucial for multitude of reasons, as it is like adverse, a range of harmful consequences as we all mentioned just now, and impacts everyone in the society. So I think it's important for us to protect our young girls and also giving this awareness to our sons for their well-being, for their future. Actually, it's for their future.
That's true. We have to work together as a society. We can't just say, I'm not going to participate as long as someone raises up this matter, it's going to resolve on its own. It's not true. We have to work together and protect the children from being forced into unwanted marriages, and also from them being brainwashed by the adults to accept a marriage that they themselves doesn't really want. So we always have to work collectively, and we no longer tolerate this type of issue, especially when it involves children, in order to ensure a brighter future for the children of
Yeah.
Malaysia.
It starts from us to
Yeah.
prevent this child marriage.
Yeah, every step counts.
Let's
Even
The
prevent.
smallest one.
Yes.
let's prevent child marriage together.
Nice conversation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for bringing up this issue. Is
Thank you so much for you guys too. I think you guys have a really good point.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.